Welcome to Coming Home to Yourself, the podcast for high achieving women ready to lead from within. I'm Jagoda, and here we dive into real conversations about confidence, clarity, and emotional freedom. Each week, I'll share honest stories, gentle insights, and soul deep shifts to help you reconnect with the woman beneath the roles. This is your space to slow down, breathe, and exhale, to stop performing strength and start living your truth, to remember who you are beneath it all. Let's begin. You think you're making your own choices. You aren't. Most of the time, you are a passenger in a car driven by a ghost, a version of you that died 20 years ago but still holds the steering wheel. Today, we're talking about saboteurs, not as a problem to fix, but as something to understand, because right now, for most people, they're running the show. Saboteurs are not evil, they are not a flaw. They are internalized critical voices you learned early in life. Most of us have several of them: the judge, the controller, the hyperachiever, the pleaser, the avoider, the hyper rational one that explains everything away, the one that's always on guard, the one that tells you you're a victim of circumstances. Different names, different styles, but the same job. They all try to protect you from pain, rejection, or failure by controlling your behavior. And the problem is not that they exist. The problem is that they drive without you noticing. Let's be honest. Your hyperachiever isn't ambition. It's fear wearing a productivity mask. You aren't working late because you're dedicated. You're working late because you're terrified that if you stop, people will see the diamond you think is covered in mud. Most people think they are in charge of their mind. They're not. Most of the time, we are on autopilot. Old patterns, old reaction, old fears dressed up as logic. I once ignored my gut on a nervous horse because a trainer told me to push through. The horse stopped, and I flew through the air like a cannonball. Your saboteurs are like that trainer. They tell you to push through or stay safe, but they aren't the ones who have to feel the impact when you fall. It wouldn't be fair off to say that for many people, saboteurs run the show most of the time. Not because they are weak, but because awareness takes practice. You might be wondering how this shows up in real life. So here are a few examples how it shows up in daily life. You don't apply for the job, even though you're qualified. You don't post the idea, even though it could help others. You say yes when you mean no. You over prepare, overthink, overwork. You hide parts of yourself to be accepted. You wait until you feel ready, which, to be honest, never comes. And you tell yourself a story like, I'm just being realistic. I need to be responsible. It's not the right time. But that's not realism. That's saboteur holding the steering wheel. We hide parts of ourselves just to be accepted. I know this intimately. When I was a girl, people mocked my name. I was so ashamed that I didn't just hide my feelings, I hid my identity. I called myself Clara to new people. And that was my avoider saboteur, convincing me that being someone else was the only way to be safe. If this is landing for you, hit that subscribe button so we can keep having these conversations together. And if Salma's face came to mind while you were listening, send it her way. She might need it more than you know. I thought I was being smart. I wasn't. I was just making myself smaller. And when I finally reclaimed my name, the world didn't end. I just finally showed up for myself. Here's where many people get frustrated. They try meditation once, they try affirmations for 3 days, they become aware of their saboteur once. And when the same thoughts came back, they think, see, this doesn't work. I'm broken. I can't change. But that's like going to the gym once, doing 100 reps, and expecting to be stronger for life. And that's not how muscles work. And that's not how awareness works either. Your mind works like a muscle. You don't need another weekend retreat or a vacation from your thoughts. You need a change of permanent address. Most people are awareness tourists. They take a self care photo and then move back into the slums of their old thinking. Real change isn't a dramatic switch, it's the boring, quiet repetition of noticing the thought and coming back to the bridge. So, let me show you what actually works. Awareness is not a switch, it's a capacity. You don't build it with intensity, you build it with repetition, small reps, often, not dramatic, not perfect, consistent. Every time you notice, oh, this is my saboteur, and you focus on one of your senses, touch, smell, taste, sound, and see and you bring yourself to the present moment here and now. That is one rep. Every time you pause for 10 seconds and come back to the present moment is another rep. And that's how the real shift happens. Saboteurs aren't personalities, they are thoughts masquerading as identity. They are not truth. And by believing those thoughts, we make those thoughts feel real. This is where most people get confused. Consciousness is the power that makes that thought feel like a physical weight in your chest. But we all possess the part that is calm, wise, and whole, even when the noise is loud. Our minds are the space that remains untouched, like the diamond in the mud. Your mind is the deeper intelligence that was whole before the saboteur appeared. And you need to sit with your awareness until you remember you're the diamond, not the mud. A saboteur is like jumping off the bridge into the freezing river of your own thinking and believing you are the water. And I'm here to tell you to get back on the bridge. When you're caught in saboteur, you're not broken. You're just identified with thought. And the moment you see that, you're already stepping out of it. I've seen this clearly in my own life. Moments when I played smaller than I needed to. Moments when a voice said, you're not ready. You're not qualified enough. Who do you think you are? That wasn't intuition. That was saboteur pretending to be wisdom. And every time I listened to it, my life stayed the same. I stayed on the same spot. And that's the real cost. Not safer, just smaller. And here's the part people don't want to hear. You don't get rid of saboteurs. You outgrow their authority. And you don't do that by fighting them. You do it by not obeying them automatically. The work is simple, but not passive. It's noticing again and again and again. Building the awareness so you can stop saboteur from running the show. So, what I'm encouraging you to do is this. The next time a saboteur shows up, and it will, do this. Pause, name the saboteur, pick whatever name feels the right one. And bring your attention into your body. Feel your feet, feel your breath, feel where you are. 10 to 15 seconds. That's it. You're not suppressing the thought. You're not arguing with it. You're changing who has the microphone. This is presence. Every time you do this, you strengthen the part of you that sees clearly. And slowly, without force, you stop living from fear. You start choosing differently, not because the saboteur disappeared, but because they're no longer in charge. You are not your saboteurs. They are learned voices. You are the awareness hearing them. You don't need more willpower. You don't need to try harder. You don't need to silence your mind. You need reps, present reps, awareness reps, honesty reps. And if you do them consistently, your life will start to reflect your real potential, not your old fears. Until the next time, notice who's driving and gently take the wheel back. You are the awareness, not the mat.
Thanks for listening to Coming Home to Yourself. If this episode spoke to you, take a moment to subscribe and share it with one woman who needs it. And if you're ready to go deeper, come find me on Instagram or Facebook, because this isn't just a podcast, it's a return to your body, to your breath, to your heart, to your own voice. Your story matters. You matter. See you next time.